Welcome to the June 16th, 2022 Helm Developer Call. As we normally go through things, we'll start with announcements and some discussion, and then we'll get into assignments for the next week to see who's going to be around and helping us in that stuff. So the first thing we have is planning for the Helm 391, which will be coming out July 13th. This is a patch bug fix only release. And it was moved to July 13th because it was so close to the last minor release 390 that we didn't have the bugs and stuff in order to do a release. And so we had the option to push it out a month, and it got pushed out a month from June to July. So it'll be a little bit over a month of time for stuff to go in. Maintainers, please go review some bugs that have been fixed and try to let's get that stuff merged so we can cut a patch release. Did anybody else have anything else they want to say about 391? All right, then with that, we'll move into discussion. And our first item, I'll pass it to you, Karen, for the Helm user feedback survey results.
I didn't put this here, so I think someone wanted me to discuss this, which is fine.
I did add it. I did add it because
I
saw you had it from last week and it said you would discuss it. We would discuss it in coming weeks. And I was like, yes, please.
I don't actually know if anyone managed to take a look at the results. I think we're actually up to 46 or 47 responses now. So maybe let's give it another week for people to review. So that link goes to the responses. I think anyone can see it. Yeah, so I mean, we have the results. I don't know if maybe from reviewing it, we'll figure out some action items. I don't think she's on the call, but I know the Red Hat folks were like pretty invested in getting results for this. So I'm assuming that they had some stuff that they wanted to take action on from the results. But again, the results are here. I guess if anyone is interested and sees anything that we want to take an action on, let me know. Otherwise, yeah.
When does the survey close?
I haven't closed it. I don't know. Should I close it? I guess
it might be worth keeping open for a while.
Yeah, I kind of figured like there's no strong reason to close it. But given there's 47 results at this point, I figured like it's a good time to look at it at least to see if there are any like emerging patterns or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, but take a look, everyone. Let me know if you see anything interesting or like want any of us to do something about, I guess. Might be opportunities for blog posts, anything to address. We talked about this last week, but yeah, I don't know if there's anything from the survey that we can take and maybe use as a topic for that like Hack Fest hour thing that CNCF had offered projects for KubeCon, but that's later in October. And if anyone missed that from last week, as part of like the like offerings that they give to projects at KubeCon, they're trying a new pilot thing where it's like a 90-minute session where you can like kind of do like a bug bash or like kind of go through your backlogs. So I don't know, maybe there will be something from the survey that we can act on in that session, but that's all. Thanks.
Thanks, Karen. I was just thinking that if we could keep it open until maybe 100 responses would be substantial. 50 is also really good. So I was hoping if you could do maybe another wave of promotions. I was hoping to pick everyone's brains for ideas on that.
Sure, yeah, that's totally doable.
Yeah, and if folks want to go out to their social media channels, or we can go remind folks in Slack. If they haven't taken the survey, please go ahead and take it, and we'll see what kind of opinions we can get. I've got a few places that today I'll go pass it off while I'm totally paying attention in a meeting to see whether we can get some more results from some good users.
Matt, when is the next release that we have planned? Just wondering.
Oh, it's a patch fix release on July 13th.
Well, it's a month away. I mean, that'd be a good opportunity when it comes to promotion, saying, hey, here's a release, here's a survey too.
Yeah, unless we get a whole lot more folks to take it by then, that might be a possibility. Hopefully we get a lot more responses by then, because that is a month away.
Agreed.
Yeah, we can play it by ear. Karen's running the show on this, so she makes those calls. Okay. Anything else on the survey?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, Chris,
Yeah.
you have
Sorry.
yeah, sorry. I'm
tried-
sorry. I missed your hand up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to, on the topic of the survey, I wanted to say I took a look at the preliminary results so far, and with 40 plus replies in there, I saw a non-zero number of people saying they wanted more docs. So perhaps our Hackfest could also include a docs, extravaganza. Just get people to write something, because yeah, I've definitely seen that pattern. And you're muted.
I'm on mute. That is a really good point. In fact, I might ask them to see if docs is one of the things they'd consider, but I think a good docs fest would be something good here. And a lot of folks know enough about Helm to start writing a bunch of docs. It's just carving out the time. All right. So then we move on to Chris. You had a pull request you wanted looked at.
Yeah, so I had originally brought this up about 5 weeks ago, and nobody's taken a look at it yet.
Yeah, and sometimes we need to be bugged about it.
So this is something that's been causing grief for Flux as of about 2 years ago, and somebody proposed a fix to Helm, and it didn't really go anywhere, and so I have revived it. Because we ran into it in our own project and ran into it and had to do a workaround. So the main problem is that if you have one replica, then you start up a deployment or a daemon set and you have a max unavailable of 1, then it starts up and becomes ready instantly, even though there's 0 pods available. And so this can cause problems, as you might imagine.
Has anybody looked at a test for this?
Not that I know of. I don't know if there is an easy way to do a test for it.
I don't either. I don't remember this code. Let's see. This is in Cube. Go on the fly. And Ready already has a test for it. So it looks like we already have a test for Ready. I wonder if we can add a test around this particular case then for Ready. That would be my thing. I haven't looked to see whether it's possible, but we already do have Ready tests. So my guess is there is something we can do about that. That would be my first bit of feedback that I'd put on it, but I'll give it to here. This is your pull request?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So it's based off of a previous one, 8671, by somebody else that never got merged. It was by Sean Egan. And he's basically, I contacted him and he's basically given up.
All right.
So
bug me about this one. It'll take a couple of us to review it, but my first bit of feedback, and I'll add it on there, is if we can get a test, it would be great. Ready already has tests, so I'd look for a test here as the next thing.
Okay.
And then feel free to
Are there
track me down.
Are there instructions on how to actually run the tests? I haven't actually gone and looked.
So the tests are Go tests. You can run what is it, make test, and there's a couple of different make test commands.
Right.
But we run there's test unit, which just will run the tests for all the different packages. But it's essentially, if you just want to run the individual tests, they're Go tests. So if you are in an editor that gives you the button to click to run a test, sure, or at the command line, you can just specify the test you want.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Okay.
All right.
Good enough. I don't know when I'll get a chance to do it, but
will you get a chance to do it in the next couple of weeks, do you think?
Realistically, no. I've got lots of vacation happening. So
You got lots of vacation happening. Okay. I was just wondering about putting it in the 391 milestone.
Right.
If not, that's all right. We can keep on
Yeah.
it. I hope you enjoy your vacations and don't worry about us over that. But when you get to it, because in a few weeks, I'm sure it'll fall out of my mind again. Feel free
Yep.
to ping me for a follow-up review.
Will do.
All right. And I'll
All
put
right.
my feedback on here just so everybody sees it
Yep,
after this call.
that'd be great. Thanks.
All right.
I am going to drop off. See you guys all later.
All right. Bye. All right. So if that one's done, Mark, you put on something on here about triage maintainers.
Yeah. So let's just the elephant in the room is that there's very few maintainers left. I've never been given time to do reviews in my job, and my new job right now is not even allowing me to do that either. So, you know, I'm the first to admit I can't help out. So for those that do reviews, I really sympathize that you must be getting strained and things are falling back. And so how do we address that as a community? I was thinking of the triage maintainers, you know, ramping them up, kind of getting them to start off with reviews, and then more senior maintainers jumping in after. Maybe you guys have experience with companies, you know, trying to get involved and getting funding people to spend time. Because I mean, to be able to review these things, you need to build experience, and it doesn't happen, you know, on a 5 hours a week. In my experience. Any opinions on that?
I see Scott had his hand up. Did you have something, Scott?
Yes. I only have one working hand right now, so I figured I would do that. Anyway, I was thinking, oh, sorry, I'm Matt. If you didn't know, I have shoulder surgery, but it'll be good soon. Yeah, more shadowing seems to help. You know, it's often the small things, you know, that blocks someone from getting going. I may be projecting slightly, but I've heard it from others too. So if we could do a little bit of that, that'd be great.
Okay, so let's set up some review shadowing sessions where a couple of us will go off and pair and look at some things and do reviews on it, just to do that kind of thing. And when I think about it, when I first started, that was one of the things that I did with Butcher, was I would pair with him and go through some of the reviews. And while I had my own ideas, he definitely brought in other angles that I just didn't think about because he knew the code so much better than I did. So let's go ahead and set that up. I'll say anybody who wants to do that, feel free to reach out to me and we will schedule a time, because if it's on a calendar, it's a whole lot easier to do. So if somebody wants to do that, feel free to come ping me. I'll volunteer to do that and we can go start reviewing things. I think that's a good place to start. We also need more maintainers. And if there's triage maintainers who are interested in more, we can start talking about how to do that. How they can even start reviewing now, even if they're not a full maintainer, to give good feedback, and then we'll see that and loop them in. We can start doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's a great strategy.
Do we have like candidates? Like, should we put out a call for help, like in a blog post, to kind of like outline the few different things that we're looking for right now? I'm just wondering if we should get the word out, like even if it's just a tweet, to be like, hey, like, if anyone's looking to get more involved, yeah, because it's like we can mentor people, but are there people to mentor or like people to shadow in the first place?
And are there companies that may want to get more involved too and put somebody on it? I'm not sure the best way to put out a call for that, but that's probably a good idea to start looking for companies and organizations and people who want to get more involved. Right. It's always, as Mark points out, it's a lot easier when your company gives you time because they're invested in it and they want you to be able to do some work on it. Okay. Bridget?
Yeah, I have a colleague who is working her way through a pull request, and I just pinged her this morning and asked her to go resolve the merge conflicts on it. It's in the 310 milestone. So I kind of wonder if extrapolating from that, some of the people who might want to go on that road to maintainership are people who have been putting in pull requests or who have been familiarizing themselves with the code base.
Yeah.
Like maybe outreach to people who are currently being told by their companies, work on this, might be a fruitful effort.
That's a really good idea. If we could look for patterns there, I like that. Scott, you've got your hand up still, or do you have another thing?
No, I put it up again. Yes, Bridget, that sounds great. I mean, it's basically it's a +1, but also, you know, perhaps a doodle poll. Maybe what we could do is make a goal of just kind of group a few of these things together, you know, like make a doodle poll for like when's a good time for at least the few of us that know we would want to join in on that weekly, or let's at least try, and we could be flexible, you know, but basically say that like, hey, listen, people do want to be more involved with Helm. Here's what we expect. You know, we expect you to at the very least join these triage sessions. Because I don't know that I think that that's like none of this in the project is going to work without that, right? So maybe we just say, hey, listen, that's what we have to do. And even if it's just shadowing and just being there to ask questions or get the experience, that you're on the road toward being a contributor or even a potential maintainer, something like that.
All right. I'll do the doodle. I just gave myself a to-do to create a doodle to try to grab some times. I'll send it out to everyone around here to see who's interested in it. All right. Is there anything else on this, Mark? This was your topic.
Yeah, maybe it's something we can't talk about on a recorded session, so stop me if not, but Microsoft. So, you know, we lost 3-4 of the main maintainers. Is Microsoft, I don't know, the management that, you know, the management of that team that disappeared, would they be interested in you know, getting other people to get involved or stuff like that?
Yeah, that's actually what I just referred to, is we have internal teams that, you know, publicly are using Helm, that we're trying to get them to be on that path, which means they're putting
Okay.
pull requests in.
I didn't read between the lines what you were
That's
saying.
what I just, yeah, that's what I
Okay.
was just alluding to.
He was
This is not
hinting.
this is not a Microsoft takeover attempt. This is just a, hey, there's teams that are using Helm. They should go down that path. So
Okay,
yes,
good.
we're
That's good
actively
news.
working on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bridget,
But we
if
got to
there's
get their pull
somebody
requests
that
merged, and we got to get them in, and you know, but
yeah, if there's somebody there who's interested in that path and they want somebody to talk to about it, you can send them my way. I'll carve out some time. I'm happy to talk with them and look into it. We can see what we've got to do.
Awesome. But yeah, of course, there's not a Microsoft will allocate all of these people and suddenly they become a drop-in replacement for the long-standing experienced maintainers. That's not realistic, but
Yeah.
getting people to start working with the code base is realistic, and that's what we're doing.
It's supplementary.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Thank you. It's encouraging.
All right. Anything else on that?
No, thank you, Matt.
All right. Then we've got assignments for next week: moderator, notes, and issue triage.
I have a conflict next week.
I could do moderator. I cannot take notes unless it's like this.
All right.
Not for a few more weeks.
I can do notes.
All right. So we've got that. Is anybody interested in issue triage?
I am, but I actually still have more shadowing work to do. So that's why I am going to reach out to you on this, Matt, and we could I'll say this. I think my attempts at doing that in the past have not gone so well. I think at least for myself, I think I could really use working with someone who's done it before a bit more.
So I can reach out to me offline. If you want to do it this week, I can spend a little bit of time with you in the next week and we'll figure out what that would look like.
Okay, great. Yeah, that might be easier than scheduling the whole doodle poll with everyone, but I'll also participate in that so that we can get that rolling too.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else? Going once, going twice.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Go ahead, Scott.
Hang on. Hold the door. Yeah. The idea of a next Helm summit. Should we just kind of put that on pause for the moment, or do we think are we still kind of on general course, or do we feel like we have other thoughts on that?
So my 2 cents is we're kind of in a holding pattern as we figure out the long-term maintainers and how much effort people can put into different things. Joining the TOC meant my effort went down here just because of time, things like that. We've had some various changes. I don't know if we're in a great state to have a Helm summit and talk about what do we want to do next? Where are we going to go? How is this going to work out? Because who's going to be behind driving that or leading it and being excited about it? And so I think we probably need to wait a little bit before we have another summit, but that's just my 2 cents.
I was starting to feel a similar way, even though I can imagine some of us driving and leading and being excited. We also need the other folks too. And then Karen, you were just, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I think it was you that said this, Karen. My mind's oatmeal right now, but there was like a 90-minute session that's brand new. Was that?
Yeah. Matt and I had mentioned it last week as part of like the offerings they give to projects for KubeCon.
Yeah, so that could be, I mean, in a sense, that might be all we need, just a
Those
thought.
90-minute sessions, they're only giving out a handful of them. And in order to do that, you actually have to submit a proposal for what you're going to do. And it's a contributor session around a particular thing. And so you've got to pitch what your thing's going to be and see if it's accepted because they're doing it in a trial run.
Got it. Okay, so we could think about those as separate topics. Okay.
Yes, Bridget, contributor sessions around docs. We should definitely submit something for that. We can coordinate around it offline.
That was it for me. I just wanted to put the feeler out.
Sounds good. All right. Is there anything else? Going once, going twice. Everyone have a wonderful week, and we will see most of you, or hopefully some of you, back here next week. Have a good one, y'all.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.